Good evening, everyone. Hello, Ashish. Am I audible? All right. Good evening, Pritam. All right. Hi, Bhavan. Good evening. Why are students waiting in the WhatsApp group? Okay. Hello, Adarsh and everyone. So today we are going to have a session on a reading module. We are done with the writing aspects. So let's move on to understand about 8 different questions. Hey, why is it my screen? Can you see my screen now? Psst, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Okay. All right. Now can you see my screen? Oh, yes, you can. Hello, Himman. Good to see you. Neha. Okay. So those who missed out on the past last sessions, don't worry. There will be repetition of topics and yeah. And those who are already in a progressive state, I mean, like you've been there from right from the very first session. So it's time for you to start working on your writing sections and better your skills, especially with the grammar aspects, the grammar questions. And yeah, they're easy, but there's a high chance of losing out scores with the punctuation marks. Okay, so work on it. Now let's see something with the reading part. And reading is something 50% of reading scores are surrounding on critical thinking and also evidence-based questions. There are 8 different questions that we'll be learning on and we'll be practicing those questions also. And that's all about this reading writing concepts we'll be working on and what's the right approach. And today's exclusively we're working on vocabulary based questions, vocab in context questions. Now my first question I'll ask, pause. These are the 8 types of questions: vocab, purpose, dual text. Then you have main idea, claim, charts, and conclusion based questions. Um, Out of this, most of my you might be having some struggle with main idea, claim types of questions because they're a little hard in nature, okay, challenging to be precise, and conclusions also. So how do you better your reading skills? So not just for the test sake, I want you to start reading more passages. Now it's summertime, if you get time to do some practice, read some science-based passages as general, okay, in general, not just for the test sake. This is to increase your reading speed as well as your grasping of the words, the sentences, what to eliminate and what to only focus and read. And by the way, the test is only asking a specific information to be identified by you, and you have to only focus on that information and choose your answers based on it. So there's always evidence of that answer present in your passage. You need to identify it, may it be in the form of purpose, what is the purpose of that so-called underlined sentence, or in the form of what is the main idea or central idea, or different types of claims to weaken or strengthen the claim, and logical completions or conclusions. So, and of course, vocabulary, if you ask me, how do I better my vocab? Because at least 6 to 7 questions you'll find in module 1 and also in module 2. So you have 100% guarantee that you'll have to face this vocab based questions. Okay. So for that, all you have to work is, ma'am, should I by heart? No, not at all. Never ever do that. We are not supercomputers to remember all this, because these vocab-based questions are never, okay, you'll get any of these 4 varieties of passages that you'll be seeing. Science-based, then you have sociology-based, that is behavior-related questions, passages, or art. Yes, of course, poetry-based, you'll definitely come across. And you have literature-based questions of about a character, and what is that character doing, events of things happening around the character, and then you have a question asked. Okay. So, yeah, these are the four main themes that you will come across in reading part. How do you approach these reading questions? Like I said, I was about to say that don't mug up or by heart any words. That's not going to work because vocab-based questions are contextual. So my first question to you is, what does it mean, context? Yes, in the chat box. What do you think? I mean, what does it mean? Context means what? Con. Con means what is the prefix? Con means con, con. And text. Contextual means what? 31 students in the room. I want you to be active in the chat box. Those who are new also can be active. Don't wait for your chance. Keep texting, keep sharing your answers. Okay? It's fun sharing answers. According to the given information, yes, Neha, can I have more better answers? Yes, that's true. Context means what's the meaning of con? con, con means with. Text means with related to the text. Okay? Now let me see what are your answers. Only one? Yes, yes, Bhavan, correct. Very good. The parts of a discourse that surround a word or a passage can throw light on its meaning. Yes, Bhavan, correct. So, seems like only two people are active and they only need the session. Is it so, Lokesh? Come on, be active in the chats. So, I asked, what is the meaning of context? So context means with the given text, you have to find the answer. There is no like rule that you know the sometimes the dictionary definitions will not also work. Okay. So you only have to identify the answer from the given text, not from your prior knowledge. Of course, prior knowledge is also always helpful. It comes handy, right? So make sure that you approach reading and writing questions in this manner. Read the passage slowly and remove the fragments. I've already taught you how to plug off non-essential or specifying information or additional information. You plug them off and read, and you get your subject verb. That's more than enough for you to decide. See, a passage of 50 words, in that at least two or three lines are just fragments. So don't read that fragments. Don't read that introductory phrases. Just right away start from the subject and the verb and continue the main clause. Read that main clause and then you get your answer. Okay. Because sometimes some are not really confident with science-based passages because the language is complex and little more technical. So don't worry. It has nothing to do with your science knowledge. Okay. Just strike off and read, strike off those additional information and start reading only what matters to you for getting the answer. That's number one. No time for too much detailing. Don't go into the detailing aspect. Quickly run your eyes, get to a conclusion, get your own summaries, boil down to your own summary, and then see if the answer choices are matching to your summary. Okay. So check for, and also you need to check for strong words, transitions, and punctuations. Usually in reading, if answer choices have very strong words, overwhelming words, too much verbose, answer choices are not, that clearly means they are not your answer choice. That particular answer choice is not your right answer because anything that's verbose is speaking the same. So, I mean, it's repeating itself. So, and punctuations, always be mindful about the punctuations because you know, you learned when we place comma, when we place a dash or a parenthesis or when we place a colon, the second part is also the same as the first part. That's what we all discussed, right? So you should first read the first part and the second part is restating or repeating itself after the colon. So punctuations really help you in transitions. If you find and or anything that's a continuer or a contrast, then you know the next part of it will be you need to find something opposite. So opposite meaning word you need to find. So transitions really help you. They are your instant clues. So if you identify transitions, start annotating them. Annotation, there's an annotation pen. If you have gone through the practice test, you will be given an annotation pen and you can circle them. You can underline them. Too big, too much. Like words which are very overwhelming, too big, too fancy. So then you can identify that that's not your answer. Your answers are very simple ones. Don't assume that any word that's fancy that can be my answer. Don't self-doubt. Okay. That's very important. And yes, dumb summarize the final information on your own in your own words, boil down to in your own words, write your own summary, a short one word or two words, conclude that, and your answer choice should or must match to whatever you have come to a conclusion. If your answer choice is not matching to your conclusion, that clearly means you did not or you're not able to decipher or decode the meaning of the passage. That clearly means you failed at step one. The step one, reading the passage and understanding only whatever information is needed for you, not additional information. If you digress, I mean, if you deviate from reading the main idea and you keep on trying to find answers in the detailing part, then you're lost. So each type of question comes with unique strategy. You don't need to apply the same strategy. I mean, you won't be applying the same strategy what you're applying for vocab based questions. You cannot apply the same strategy for your um, main idea questions. Likewise, there are other questions. So each question type comes with its unique strategy. Am I clear? So let's see some of those, and these are the standard ones. Read the passage slowly, remove those fragments, unnecessary information, and then check for strong words, transitions, and punctuations. Term summarize, that means boil down to your own ideas, then predict answers before you check your choices. Okay. And of course, the only thing that can save your time, energy, and your process is elimination technique. Use this process and mark your answers. Okay. Question yourself why you're choosing. Every time you question yourself, why do you think my answer is right versus the other three? Okay. Now, you can also in the initial, when you're practicing, you can go back to the key, read that answer, some explanations, and follow the patterns. Okay. SAT test is all about patterns. You need to follow the pattern. Like every time you're making the same mistake, that means something is missing. You're not following the patterns. So when you find answer key and its explanation, read, try to digest that, understand that, and exactly whenever you're working on similar type of questions, replicate the pattern. Okay. Exhibit that pattern and find your answers. Then you will be good to go. Okay. Don't make simple mistakes. How many, like I often hear students making mistakes and they don't correct and they keep on practicing. Ma'am, more questions, ma'am, more questions. Why do you need more questions when you have not mastered the one specific skill? Right? First, master individual topics, then go for more and more variety of questions. When you missed, guessed, or made an educated guess of choice that got right, always leave a flag those questions, probably by luck or by guessing your answer can correct, but not guesswork will not help you all the time. So when your 70% of your work is guesswork, that means your topics are not clear. 50% you're guessing and 50% answers are correct means still you are in soup. Okay. If you love soup, that's fine, but that's not helping. This soup is not helping you. When you missed, you know the topic, but you happen to have second doubt. I mean, you're doubting yourself. I'm not going to be correct. Then leave it. Don't worry. First, finish off all those questions that you're super duper cool with it. Like I am 100% confident I'll be correct. Go work on this. There's so many questions waiting for you to attempt. Okay, 27 out of 27 words and context are easier one. Grammar questions are easier. Go attempt those. Okay, now points to remember when choosing correct answers. You will often find, I'll talk about it in the next slide. So let's quickly go to craft and structure is one of the category of your reading. There are four. Out of four, the first one is craft and structure. Within that, you will going to attempt words and context, text structure and purpose, and cross text connections. These are some of those question types. Words and context, first module, 6 questions, guarantee. First 6 questions. The same goes with your module 2 also. You will find first 6 questions, context questions. Yes, contextual questions are frequent. There's another type within this, will work both versions, okay? So here's how the prompt looks like for vocabulary in context questions. Most logical or precise word or phrase, or most nearly means. There are two formats in this vocab-based questions. We'll be looking into both. So yeah, this was what I was talking about. This is how the prompt looks like. Let's see the actual questions also. So we just discussed vocab questions test your ability to use context clues to complete text and recognize alternate meanings of common words. You should be good with your synonyms. So some tips for you, please start reading some passages. SAT based, very good. General reading questions like science based, like Reader's Digest or any other college board, previous like 2000, 2023 before passages, the pen and paper based test. They have long passages. Reading them will help you build up resistance and that kind of patience and also comprehension skills. So if you really like, I really want to build up my vocab skills, then the best thing is go back to the old papers and start reading, circling them, prepare your own. Whenever you're getting the answers correct and some logic you apply, make it a point to write it in your book. Prepare your own vocab list. Doing so, you are preparing yourself for the better test taking. Okay. All right. So how do I approach words in context questions, or we also call them as sentence completion questions? Very simple. Child, just focus on the entire passage. Identify the keywords or phrases around the blank. Okay. There's always a hint. That's why it's called as vocabulary in context. There is clue waiting for you to find out. You're reading everything but not catching up the clue. So just go slow down, read around the blank. There is always a word waiting for you, which its synonym or its antonym or its um, related word is there in the options. So for this, plug in your own words into the blank. Check out positive, negative emotion. Okay, the words that the passage that you're reading, you will identify that the passage is either positive tone or negative tone. If 90% of the words in the passage are negative tone and you are looking at options which are positive, how is it possible? Right? This is the easiest way I usually do. I first check the positive and negative emotion associated with the words. If most of the words in the passage are negative, reflections, then I would if three of the options are positive and one is negative, that's going to be my answer. Clear? And look out for transitions. As I mentioned, there are three types of transitions. We already have done this. Okay, cause and effect, continuous, and then you have contrast. So anything that comes under these three will always, the next line will always be something based on this context. If the context is continuous, you'll find and. If you find and, that means, let's say, she was happy and what do you expect after and? Naturally, a positive word. So you will be looking for a positive option. If they say grief and grief also was blank, what would you look out for? Grief is a negative word and its connecting word also should be yes, a negative word, right? Likewise. So also check with the contrast and cause and effects. Okay, these are the most common ones. Your answers will definitely reflect the incorrect answers will always be outside the passage. Like they have no logic. They sound logical, but it's not matching to your passage. It is off topic. Okay, that's why it's called outside the passage. Extreme words, so words like most, biggest, largest, this superlative words, okay? Two strong words means either overly positive or overly negative. Such words are never going to be your answers. I repeat, extreme words can like two strong words, two overwhelming words, as large as big as, most, such extremely positive or negative words are never going to be your answer choices. Opposite meaning words, sometimes an answer might say opposite of what the author actually wants to mean. So be careful with those things, okay? And recycle sometimes as it is. Whatever you find in the passage, the same will be there in the option. Now that can never be. So the SAT is not like such foolish, right? College board design such questions that will test your abilities, your logical thinking, and it will never give the same word as it is, right? And half right, yes, first part of the passage matches to the word, but the second part says something. Now, so hence that's not going to be a valid answer. Okay. So anything outside the topic or anything bigger words or overwhelming words, as given an options, you're not choosing them. Opposite meaning words, just be careful. It can be your answer, but also read the context. Words related questions are always context based. Okay. Check for the transitions, punctuations, and the phrases. Let's do this. Be active in the chats. First, read the question. It's talking about most logical and precise words. Okay, you get it. It's your context-based questions. Okay. And then we have best be described blank in his large format installations. So he's using raw material collected on site in order to blend. Ah, there you go. That blend is going to be one of my clue. Blend means what? Blend is large format installations. Okay. Do we have any combinations with large format installations? Nah. Make use of raw material collected on site in order to blend. Always observe the verb. Okay. Action words. They always give something. They hint. His created work with natural environment. Let me see your answers. Okay. Shravya, beautiful. Vishnu, Umar. Yes, yes, Vishnu. Kushal, that's correct. Okay, those who answered beautiful. Why do you think it's why beautiful is blend? We need to find a synonym to blend. Do you think beautiful is same meaning to blend? Blend means to mix something that's you know the similar sounding is harmonious. So option A, beautiful, is beyond the text. We are not talking about the beauty here, right? And again, it's a trap. Beauty is not what we want. We are talking as our option should surround blind. Yes, it talks about land artistry and natural environment. They are beautiful, but there should be proof that we are talking about beauty. But this is not about beauty. No, not at all. This is about blending, mixing. Correct? Yes. So jarring is opposite. Jarring means what? Yes. Opposite to blend. What's the meaning? What is same word to blend? Jarring means something that's not opposite. Something disconnected, but we are trying to blend, to mix. Clear? So harmonious is your word. Those who answered harmonious, make a happy sign. Yay, you did good. Okay, that was a harmonious answer. Jarring is a negative word, dear. Someone asked me what is jarring. I'm sorry I could not go through your chats. Jarring is a negative sounding word. Harmonious, positive. Beautiful is also positive. Acclaimed is known for. It's a positive word. So out of these three, I need to choose something that's, synonymical to blend. Clear? Okay. Any questions? Because this is just first one. We have many more to come. Yes. Try this. Watch out for the words, action words, any adjectives that is popping out, stands out. Just a second. To those who have doubts, harmonious might not be the direct meaning to blend. What does blend means? To merge. And when this is like a feeling that resonates when something merges, what happens? Right? You feel happy, something good is going to happen. So definitely blend and harmonious are not direct answers. Okay, they're not direct synonyms for okay, but they're same lines of meaning. Am I clear? Okay, now Now, okay, let's get back to this question. So what does it ask us? Actions as what? So describes the character's actions as blank, citing how character's complaint about kettle being filled with too much water shows his aversion to wastefulness. Okay, so this guy doesn't like wastefulness, means wasting anything. Why are you filling this with too much of water? Aversion means I don't like. Aversions means not liking. She also notes how another character's meticulous means very detailed. Upkeep of her address book reflects her desire to feel connected with to connected others. So definitely this is emotional. So I cannot, because when you're trying to connect with someone, you're seeing someone reflects always comes with psychological, so it's not unemotional. It's definitely not superficial. Superficial means only exteriorly, artificially. But that's not the case. He's looking into the character's two sides. Disheartening means something discouraging. Is it discouraging? Does it make any sense here? Discouraging? Yes. Disheartening means discouraging. So what does it mean? Here it says, no, her desire to feel connected to others. She has both sides. So it cannot be discouraging. You cannot simply mark discouraging just because one part says she has aversions. The namesake literary critic describes the character action as insightful because here, when do we say something insightful? Means something very deep that shows, that reflects. So it is insightful. So that's your answer, insightful. Yes, those who mark D, that's your answer. Insightful means something very deep, very knowledgeable. You got a lesson learned, okay? As insightful citing means very in-depth information of how, that's what, no, see, how much she reads the character about this kettle filling, her aversions to wastefulness, and then her character's meticulous upkeep of the address book. A lot of detailing is there. Detailing means insightful. Clear? All right, let's move on. Okay. Now this is another type. Wait a minute, everyone. First is this type where you have a blank. So this is sentence completion type of vocab based questions. Here's another one. No, wait, don't attempt. These are the second type, most nearly means. So they will actually give you everything and ask what that word meaning is. These are little rare, but it's always good to practice. Okay. 90% it's always the blank, the previous type of question. Okay, completion types, but these are rare, but still we'll practice. All right, now you can do it. Let's see. Reserve, the word, what is that word reserve doing over there? These are little less common type of questions. Please keep it in mind, okay? Not so frequent like last type, the previous one, contextual questions. Okay. So she is describing this behavior as symptoms of warm love. Okay, I lost. I lost. Where am I? Okay, here. Reflecting on her relationship with young man named Scarethrop grew every day more reserved, mysterious, distrait, and gradually lengthened the duration of his diurnal seclusions in his tower. Okay, thought she perceived in all this very manifest symptoms of warm love cooling. Guys, what did you understand? Was he hostile? Now, tell me what's the meaning of hostile? Hostile. Thara? Ashish, that's correct. Unfriendly. Very good. Being aggressive, unfriendly, not warmful. So how could I go with that unfriendly thing? The following text is adapted from da 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 da. Okay, young woman is reflecting on her relationship with a young man named so and so. Grew up every day more reserved. Reserved nature people, mysterious, distrait. and gradually lengthen the duration of his diurnal seclusions of his tower. So I see there are two answers coming up. Observant, no. How can we be observant? No relation with our context. Agreeable, definitely not. I feel all negative words. Mysterious, distrait. Then you have seclusions. I definitely need, these are also negative. So I'm left with two options. Now my choice should reflect directly to the word reserved, withdrawn. Why, Puneet, do you think it is hostile? Hostile means that's too much. Hostile means completely unfriendly. So that's an extreme language, like very big word, hostile. Just that he's spending more time in seclusion. That does not mean that he's like completely like he's someone who is lost somewhere or he's not at all friendly. Just that he's spending some time in the tower. That's it. So he's withdrawn. He's not there with her. And she thought she perceived in all this very manifest symptoms of warm love cooling. Okay, see, she's actually seeing something good in this. Positive. So how could you go with such a strong word, hostile? Hostile is like a situation that is completely out of your hands. Okay? Very unfriendly, like the war zone kind of. Clear? Like a war environment. Two countries are hostile with each other, hence the war happening. Now that's not the case here, right? There is love happening here also. All right. Now, somebody asked withdrawn. Withdrawn means he's moved, see, gradually lengthened. So he's just relocated. He's just moved himself to the other place, into the tower. That's it. And that means he's less available. Withdrawn here means he's less available, but he's there. Yeah? Okay. So option A, those who marked agreeable, he's not. He's less available. Are only you have to find the word that matches to less available. Hostile is not, observant not, agreeable definitely it's not your answer. Withdrawn. Okay, is not available, not less available. Yes, I am assuming that many of you got the answer. Registering is not preparing. It has no direct reflection to registering. And if you read around, you'll find these magnetic coils of wire lie just beneath the pavement, registering each passing car. That means it is trying to document. Register means to document, and the alternate meaning of document is ta-da! Yes, B. Very good. Lokesh, good going. That's the correct answer. Yes, Sahasra, you're right. It's B. Those who marked B, well done. Very good. It seemed that we were closing in on a vision of our universe in which everything could be calculated, predicted, and understood. Yes, I guess you got the answer. Yes, until the past few years, physicists agreed, okay, I got a good word, agreed, that the entire universe is generated from a very few mathematical truths and principles of symmetry. Perhaps means maybe throwing in a handful of parameters like the mass of electron. Okay. It seemed that we were closing on a vision of our universe in which everything could be calculated, predicted, and understood. It can't be theorizing. Then there should be something. You need an evidence to say theorizing something. Just that, and they're not doing any experimenting about it. There is no such evidence here about experimentation. Shutting down, closing in, like I said, right? You will not have direct such meanings. Closing in and shutting, no. Approaching, very good. Ratna, that's correct. Whoever marked B, that's your answer, approaching. Okay? Closing means you're coming near. Approaching means you're almost about to come closer on a vision of universe. What is it? That everything can be calculated, predicted, and understood. Got it? So those who marked B, bingo. There you go. That's your right answer. Yes, Muhammad. That's correct. All right, one more. Okay. Stirred. So something stirring means what happens? Is it inspired? Hmm? Yes, everyone? The straight path to the goal, the dramatic finish line that stirred the community to yells and often cries, disturbed, inspired, transformed, multiple answers, inspired. Option D, Ashish. Yes. Inspired the community to yells and often cries. And that, see, you cannot disturb. Disturb is a negative term here. Look at the tone of the passage, ma. Huh? Joined the track and field team at Bukavu High School. The sport were enjoying, it's positive word, a popularity it had not known before the war. At the time, few schools could afford basketball, baseball bats, or gymnastic equipment. And there was something in the simplicity of the sport. Oh my God, this is straight away positive. You need to check something that matches to the positive connotation. Okay? All right, everyone. D is your answer. There you go. That's good. One more. The boy was fully occupied with his own cogitations. Countenance means to face. Okay, guys, please make a note of this word. Countenance, not countenance, countenance. To encounter, countenance means to encounter, to face. Okay. In his face off, he survived the powerful logo test from atmosphere. Yes. How? Okay. Why is it observe, Bhavan? Hmm? Watch to catch his impression or observe his impressions in his, he's facing something, right? The boy was fully occupied with his own cogitations for the reminder of the ride till we halted before the farmhouse garden gate. I watched to catch his impressions. Catch means what? Yes. Yes, yes, to catch, yes. So you stopped over there to just observe his impressions. Yes, those who mark B, you're right. Yes, Prisha, correct. Attain, Manikanta, attain means to achieve. Why do you want to achieve? His impressions. You stopped, you halted before the farmhouse garden gate, and you watched to look at his impressions in this whole scene. He surveyed the carved friends. He surveyed, here you're telling, no, what all you observed, what all you noticed. Carved friend and low broad lettuces, the straggling gooseberry. This is what you have observed. All right? Okay. Oh, you did not understand? How come you did not understand? So you stopped over there and gave a look around what all are there here. You notice that there are some carved front, some carvings are there. And then because you halted or you stopped just before the farmhouse garden gate and you try to watch is your hint, no? Watch, to look around. So observe. Am I clear, Muhammad? Okay, this is not directly your words in context, but similar to that. Poetry is very common. So we will read line. Here the trick is by going by connotation. Okay. Look at this. You don't need to read this. This is a quick reading. You don't need to stop. You don't need to slow down here. Slow down here. Oh, Rose, thou art sick. Sick is a negative word. The invisible warm, again, it's negative. Warm, the feeling that flies in the night. Night is again a negative thing. In the howling storm, howling means something sad or like shouting, like howling. Who howls? You know that sound, right? Howling storms. Ooh, kind of. So that's negative. So many negatives. Huh? Now, what do you expect that your answer can be negative? Let's see. You have 4 more to go. Has found out thy bed of crimson joy. This is positive. Okay, we have one word which is positive, and his dark. Okay, dark secret love. Love sounds positive. Life does thy life destroy negative. Oh, this is a complete form of negative. So to explore complex relationship between decay and rebirth, now to show how different species interact in the environment, why do it is talking about nature but not about interactions and species. No. To lament the power of correcting forces. So lament means, guys, what's the meaning of to lament? To lament, please make a note of this word. To lament means to lament means. Slow down. Come on. To lament, to express, yes, to show the power of corrupting forces in the world. I don't see corrupting forces in the world because half of them are negative, but there is something positive also in this form. So to celebrate the harmony between life and death in nature. Yes. Let's see what's your answers. Yes. Oh my God. That's right away A. Okay, Hemant, that's correct. So it's basically talking about to celebrate the harmony between life and death. Here we are talking about death. Destroy. By in nature. Okay. Crimson joy. Joy connects to harmony between life and death in nature. It has no only one negative, only one positive, and here is love. Okay. Just go with this positive, negative. First check that. Dhara, that you should tell me. I've been asking what's the meaning of lament. To express, my dear, to lament the power of corrupting forces in the world. To express the power of corrupting forces in the world. Do you think that's the purpose of this text? No, the text purpose is to celebrate that there is harmony, that means happiness between life and death in the nature. Okay, let's do 3 more. Get ready, everyone. This goes a little faster. Now you should check both the context as well as connotations. To promote, watch out for these verb words, okay, action words. To promote. Yes, they're talking about Navjao homeland and writing medical dictionary for speakers of language. They want to promote public health. Basically, these people want to promote public health. And their efforts were involved traveling throughout the vast homeland, their homeland, and writing a medical dictionary for speakers. After you make a conclusion like summary like that, now, yes, this effort, which effort they are talking about? This effort, the promotion of public health. So, be mindful whenever you find this. Okay. You don't read this part. Read this one. This has more weightage. All your meaning is here. Don't get deviated by reading all this. Whenever you find this, means this is directing towards what? This effort. Which effort? To promote public health. And how are they doing? How are they doing this? Continuously worked. Now, what is that word that directly has the same meaning like continuously? Mandatory is must. Why do we need must? The efforts were continuously put. Impartial, not at all. This has nothing to do with, bias and all that. Offhand, persistent. What's the meaning of persistent? Yes, Kushal. When you find a word, see, this is a hint for you. I didn't mention about this. Try to identify phrases, your demonstrative pronouns like this, that. Okay, these are hints because your answer is not here. This, when you find this, means it is connected to the first sentence. So somewhere your answer has to be here. Your word that you're searching must be here. So when you find continuously and you know that persistent means continuously or persistently you're doing something, putting efforts for the promotion of public health. Am I clear? Somebody marked incorrect. So that's your answer. Persistent means continuously, consistently. Okay, now I want to talk. I said transitions are also helpful for identifying your the meanings. Okay. Whenever I find any of these in my sentence before the blank or after the blank, mostly before the blank, I would always look what is that blank followed by. Okay. If I see moreover means something is added, so it has to be positive, something like an addition. If something is like just as, it is a continuer, so my answer should be in accordance to the previous sentence. Okay, so first identify the meaning of the previous sentence. Basing on that, you can get your answer. Okay. So now let me give you the question. Just do some predictions. What could possibly you can include here? Just read around here. It can be cultivated in unusually dry conditions. This is talking something negative, okay? Unusually dry means negative. And what did I tell you with and? Means anything that continues always should also be negative, right? So they're talking about the unusual dry conditions and is especially important in regions where soil is poor and resources are. Do you think here we'll have any positive word or negative word? When we have established the relationship with and using the continuer, so anything that comes in the blank should be negative only. Can be like poor and non-reusable, non-recyclable, something like that. Something negative, not positive at all. Yes, Bhavan, correct. Negative, less. So you all got the context. So watch out for the transitions. Here's one more. Cause and effect. You find you identified just the word which is underlined around it or near the blank. You found this transition. That's a hint for you that this is reason giving. So something had happened here. Hence, this is the result of it. Because the blank danger, so something related word should be here. Okay, I'm not giving any options here. This is just to make you understand how transitions should be taken as clues. So because the blank, something related to mental evaluation, mental can be psychological. So because the psychological danger inherent in space travel can be something like that. Okay. Whatever word you're trying to search should be surrounding this, because when you're giving a reason, the reason is always associated with the subject part, right? What is under the study? Contradictors, what do? They speak something opposite to the previous statement. So when this is deceptive, so what is the opposite of deceptive? Opposite of deceptive from the outside, the afar triangle, one of the most geologically active regions in the world, seems quite what? However, there's a now here's a twist. Its external appearance is deceptive. So something is different here. He's saying externally they look something, and that is why that is deceptive, because obscuring the presence of fiery pools of lava lying beneath its surface. So something must be calm, peaceful on the top, trustworthy. Some no dhara, trustworthy no. Deceptive is like when looks can be deceptive, right? Inside what's that person we don't know. That person might be a terrorist or a kidnapper or a burglar, but he dress up as if he is the most important person in the society, so that his looks are deceptive, but his intentions are not good. So seems quite calm or peaceful. Externally, it could look calm and peaceful, but that is what deceptive is, right? Externally, whatever you are seeing, you get deceived. You feel, oh, this so-called triangle is so cool, I can take great pics from here, I can add a lot of content on my Instagram. Wait a minute, the next minute you think, there you go, it blasts a huge lava volcanic eruption. So actually beneath that you have so many fiery pools of lava. You don't know that, because you've been deceived by looking at the beautiful snow-capped or peaceful looking FR triangle. Okay, but basically they're active regions of the fiery pools of lava. So just be mindful when you find however. So this part is negative. I'm talking something opposite to the previous statement. So find out something that's opposite. Okay, try this. We just discussed about the word this, right? So this has something to do. Whatever this statement is, it's actually, this part has importance. Understand this part, then you'll understand this. This blank of man-made. Which blank? Which blank of man-made? This triumph of man-made. Triumph is victory. We're not talking about victory here. We're talking about man-made technology. The denunciation. Now, totally off the topic. Fusion. I can go with fusion. Why? We have a word that directly talks about blending, merging. Merge, fusion, blend. Yes. Yes, Vishnu, mix. Very good. So I'll go with blend. I'll go with, sorry, fusion. So, created a store with avant-garde sculptures that blend machines with living organisms. This fusion, so what are we talking about? This so-called blended machines, which are man-made technology and the natural world is exhibited and so on. So this all this description is basically about this whole machine of living organisms. Okay, and it's a mix of what? Machines and living organisms. So if you're really good with the dangling modifiers, remember your subject and verb should be next to each other. Whatever noun you're describing, the descriptive part should be close next to it. And when I say this, means this is all descriptive part of this noun we are talking about. The subject here is this sculptures, which is nothing but a blend of machines and living organisms. So don't get digressed. Don't read too much of information around. Just read around and get to the point. And some hints like this is great clue for you to understand the rest of this. Actually, the second part is a repetition of the first statement. Okay. All right, everyone. Okay, we'll continue the next in the next sessions. So I hope I'm clear. Oh, okay.